of July 11, 2019. Can I have a roll call, please? Here.
Philip Humbard. Here. Walter Jennings.
Here.
Joel Kelsey. Here. Neil Helm.
Be it appropriate to approve the minutes of the June 6th meeting, 2019? Motion second. Correction, comments, adjustments. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Being none, thank you. Agenda, staff, any last minute?
As presented, sir.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the agenda.
Okay, motion for approval. Is there a second? Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, up for Family First Cabins. By the way, for those of you attending the meeting, probably don't come to these often, staff will present their findings and then we'll ask if the proponent of the project has any additional information or anything they care to add. And then if you're here to speak against the project, you'll have that opportunity. So it's kind of the process we follow. Go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me? Yep. Perfect. Family First Cabins, CUP. This proposal is located northwest of Winslow off of East Devil's Den Road, also known as Arkansas State Highway 74. It is located entirely within the unincorporated area of Washington County, about 1.5 miles east of I-49. The applicants, Vernon and Connie Richardson, own 2 parcels here outlined in black. The yellow box displays the location of the proposed conditional use permit. The green line displays the location of the access road that is currently being disputed by a neighbor. The settlement of this dispute and determination of a usable access road is a condition of approval for the project. I conducted a site visit on June 12, 2019. The CUP location is less than 1 acre, thus not requiring preliminary large-scale development plan. This slide shows the driveway that stretches from the disputed access road to the location of the proposal. Here you can see the main cabin. The septic field is in the grassy area in the bottom left corner of the picture. And this slide displays that open field in front of the main cabin. Here's a closer view of that main cabin. Here you can see one of the smaller cabins on the location from a distance of about 75 feet. Here's a closer view of two of these smaller cabins. Each of them is about 384 square feet. This photo displays the site distance on Arkansas State Highway 74 to the east. This photo displays the site distance on Arkansas State Highway 74 to the west. The requirement of CUP approval for this single-family residential use is based on the following. It's amendment to the rules and regulations of the planning director regarding zoning approved by the Quorum Court February 11, 2010, filed February 16 of 2010. Article 1, the following is hereby promulgated subject to the approval of the Quorum Court. Use by right shall be allowed with an administrative review requirement only when a landowner makes an application for the addition of up to 2 single-family homes or guest houses on a lot, parcel, or tract, and the following criteria can be met. After the addition of the proposed single-family home or guest house, there will be a total of only 2 or 3 single-family homes on the property. As a result of the density of residences on the proposal site, this requires a CUP approval. CUP criteria, section 11-200. The board shall hear and decide requests for conditional use and may authorize such if it finds, first, that a written application has been filed with the planning board and the appropriate fee has been paid. This was accomplished at the time of submittal of the project. 2, that the applicant has provided proof that each property owner has set out in section 11-204 has been notified by return receipt mail Per ordinance, this was accomplished 2 weeks prior to today's meeting. All responses were included in the update packets provided to the Planning Board prior to this evening's meeting. 3, that adequate utilities, roads, drainage, and other public services are available and adequate or will be made available and adequate if the use is granted. This has been accomplished at the time of tech review. 4, that the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area. This is accomplished by the usage of the land being residential in nature. 5th, that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. This is accomplished by the residential and short-term nature of the proposal, as well as the low number of guests that will be coming and going. 6th, that the conditional use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the surrounding area for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish and impair property values within the surrounding area. Again, this is accomplished by the residential and short-term nature of the proposal, as well as the low number of guests that will be coming and going. 7, that the establishment of the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding area for uses permitted in the zone. This is accomplished by the minimal size of the project, which is under 1 acre. So staff recommends approval of the proposed Family First Cabin CUP with conditions. Are there any questions?
Yes, I heard you mention the easement condition. Was it listed, or was it just going to be added?
It was listed.
Getting it
in the-
worked out with your neighbors?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
That was listed in
was trying to
the
find it on the
conditions of
list real quick.
approval included in your update packet, sir.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Any questions up here? All right, is there anyone here, the proponent, you want to add anything, or anyone want to speak? Here we go, Rick, got somebody coming forward.
We're the proponents, you don't have anything to add.
Oh, you don't have anything to add, okay, all right. Anybody else? All right, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the Family First Cabin CUP with appropriate conditions.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, 2 of them. Motion second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Being none, thank you very much. On to CGC RV Park, CUP.
Right, CGC RV Park. So this project came up before the board at the last meeting on June 6th. There were a total of 5 board members in attendance. In order to approve a conditional use permit, there must be a total of 4 votes. This project had 1 recusal, 3 votes for, and 1 against, so the motion failed. In accordance to Washington County Code Section 11-206B, as long as the Washington County Planning Director and the Planning Board Chair both concur, the project may be allowed to come before the board again. So here we are. This project is in the northwest portion of the county, and here's the area that's surrounding it. And here's a close-up. The total acreage of the parcel is 10.62 acres. The applicant is Hannah Chefke, and she would like to utilize 8.51 acres shown here as Tract A as an RV park and campground. So here's a little bit of a close-up. The property owner is Pete Brandenburg. He'll retain 2.11 acres, which is shown in purple. The yellow is the 8.51 acres that the applicant plans on purchasing to utilize as the RV park and campground. The applicant has also stated that she will also reside on the property with her children. The CGC RV Park will consist of approximately 50 RV stalls, a possible small camping area, and possibly even an RV storage area. This is a sketch of what the site plan might look like. The site plan will change once the applicant submits for the large-scale development. The applicant will build the RV stalls and the RV park in phases. The phasing is dependent upon the applicant's clientele and the ability to invest in future phases. The first and second phases will consist of around 10 RV stalls each. The last phase will consist of 30. Again, these amounts and this design may change once the applicant submits for large scale. And here are the criteria for the allowance of conditional uses. Staff feels that items 1 through 3 have been met sufficiently through the administrative and technical review process. Most of the technical comments received stated that the owner/developer is responsible for any fees incurred in order to extend a utility line to service the property/project. Soil analysis has been conducted and the soil was found suitable for a septic system. The actual permitting and designing of the septic system will be addressed during the large-scale development. Staff would like to address criteria 4, that the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area. The surrounding area uses are primarily single-family residential and agricultural. The 8.15 acre site has no existing structures. True, an RV park is not the same use as the surrounding area. Staff does feel that with conditions and the residential nature of the project, CGC RV Park is overall compatible. The applicant is proposing the RV park to have a secluded feel, and staff feels that this will assist with minimizing the impact to neighboring properties. Mrs. Chepke also plans on residing on the property. She plans on living there with her 3 young children and her dog. Safety and the well-being of her family, as well as the safety of her clients and the neighbors, are of the utmost importance. Mrs. Chepke comes from a military family and is a veteran herself, and she has traveled to many locations around the world because of her duty to service and because of her family. Order, cleanliness, and respect are values she has adopted in her daily life, along with instilling in her children. She has no tolerance for unruliness. Quiet hours will be strictly enforced. Limits placed on the duration of stay for residents will be strictly enforced. Other good neighbor accommodations will also be taken into accounting. The park is meant to provide a short to medium-term residence for workers who are in the area for projects for local companies and/or for vacationers who are seeking to escape the city for a short bit. Items 5 through 6 state that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of conditional use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. That the conditional use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the properties in the surrounding area and will not substantially diminish or impair the property values in the surrounding area. And finally, that the conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding area for uses permitted in the zone. Make that items 5 through 7. Sorry. Including the property owner, we mailed a total of 7 notifications to the property owners within 300 feet of the proposed project on May 23rd. At the last meeting, we had only received 1 comment in opposition of the project. The neighbor stated that they moved to the county for peace and a quiet lifestyle. Having an RV park nearby would take that away from them. They also worried about the extra noise and the traffic. They stated that the crime rate would go up due to the coming and going of visitors. They also stated that their property values would go down. As parents, they were concerned about their 3 young children's safety. To date, staff has still only had that 1 comment in opposition. There have been no phone calls or other discussion between neighbors and the planning department that I know of. The neighbor to the northwest and the applicant share a common property line. The site plan has called for a green barrier such as arborvitae or other non-invasive plants with the possibility of privacy fencing. Certain varieties of arborvitae can grow up to 3 feet a year. Arborvitae is naturally dense around the base and can be cut or shaped in a variety of ways. Another thought suggested by the Beaver Watershed Alliance is southern wax myrtle shrub. When fully mature, this can span 15 to 20 feet in both height and width. This is southern arrowwood. Depending on the cultivar selected, arrowwood can grow between 5 to 15 feet in height and width. When planted closely together and allowed to grow, any of the aforementioned plants can be a living green wall, which will provide an extremely dense barrier between the applicant's property and their surrounding neighbors. The applicant may also utilize privacy fencing in addition to screening trees and/or shrubs. Here is an image of the property of the neighbor's closest building to the property line. The yellow line on the right side of the screen represents where the applicant will utilize landscaping barriers. The applicant again has stated that she will own or occupy the RV park and campground. She has 3 children whom are all under the age of 10. It is important to Mrs. Chevke that the landscaping barriers be built not just for the neighbors and the customers' privacy, but for the privacy and safety of her family as well. This image was taken from the far end of the property. Again, the yellow line represents where the landscaping plants will be. In addition to this northwest boundary, Mrs. Chevke will also plans on landscaping the RV park grounds itself and the roadside boundary as well. The location is approximately a mile away from the Springdale city limits. It's 2.2 miles away from Beaver Lake as the crow flies, and it's a bit under a mile away from the Hunt Rogers Quarry. The applicant states that the location of the RV park is ideal for clientele whom are seeking a nearby yet out-of-the-way spot to set up their RV or tent, or for the professional who's contracted at the quarry for a few months. Utilizing Google Earth, we can get an even further zoomed out point of view of the area. There's actually an additional mine to the northwest that's approximately a mile and a half away. Being that the proposed RV park is over a mile away from any true city amenities, it would be difficult for those without transportation to locate and set up camp. The majority of the proposed RV park's clientele will be those in RVs. The average cost of an RV ranges from $10,000 for a small pull-behind camper to well over $100,000 for an actual motor home. The cost of a new Class A RV, which is the largest from my understanding, is anywhere between $50,000 to $200,000 or more. It is to this particular clientele that the proposed RV park is hoping to attract. On July 8th, staff conducted another site visit. This time, we stood at the marked area on the screen. The marked area is the yellow star. The star represents the survey marker for the property corner. Now, sorry, my videos don't work from this PowerPoint, so I have to do it this way. And this is just a video of what you see when you stand on that corner. Very densely vegetated from across the street. And so we drove down a little ways and we stood where the red star is, which is the other corner of the property. Oops, no thanks. Again, very densely vegetated, and there's a lot of pasture, and there is a residence that we can see. This is looking into the proposed RV parkland from the street. In regards to property values, staff feels that an actual real estate study by a real estate professional with knowledge of RV parks in areas similar to the proposed location of the CGC RV park would be needed in order to prove that this proposal would diminish the property values. I am not a real estate professional, but I did look up the reappraisal values for some of the surrounding properties of other RV parks in the county. The reappraisal values, which are done by a professional appraisal company contracted by the assessor's office, state study for properties that I looked at starting in 2015. According to the Arkansas Department of Transportation, in 2018, approximately 2,200 vehicles a day traverse this portion of East Monitor Road. The counter was placed right by the southeast corner of the proposed RV park. East Monitor Road is classified by RDOT as a major collector. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, a major collector in a rural area provides service to any county road that is not on an arterial route. It links schools, parks, important mining and agricultural areas to nearby larger towns and cities or with arterial routes. Major collectors serve as the most important intra-county travel corridors. Again, to the north and south are mining operations. At any given time, dump trucks may be seen on East Marnder Road. At the last meeting, there was a lot of concern with regards to the dump trucks and the road conditions. I ask that if the neighbors are concerned with the mining operations and with the road conditions, please contact the planning office directly so we can see if the mine is operating within its approved conditions. And please contact the road department to address the road condition concerns. Many RV owners will also tow a small car or truck, or will own a larger truck to tow their fifth-wheel trailer with. Staff feels that an additional few dozen vehicles on the road that already sees around 2,200 vehicles a day will not impede the natural flow of traffic or cause any traffic concerns. It is highly unlikely that all clients in the RV park will be coming and going at the same time. Traffic will most likely trickle in and out of the proposed RV park. At this time, staff recommends approval of this project with the following conditions, and these conditions are the same conditions as were presented at the last planning board meeting. Any questions? We are not at that point yet. But I do know that the applicant is applying for septic, and that has to go through the state. So I do think that she is going to, there will be washing amenities, washer, dryer. I do not think there will be shower stalls. There will be restrooms. She will have office built, and that will have amenities inside it for the office staff. There will be a playground. She is expecting to build a playground. It's just a lot of these will be addressed during the large scale also, once she gets an actual architect and engineers on staff.
I just had one question. You mentioned possibly storage. Do you think the screening, I mean, I'd like to, that would be more akin to a storage unit place.
No, I'm sorry.
Versus, yeah, and sometimes they have big vehicles out back. And so I didn't know what was contemplated there. That would require some screening, which may, you may think is covered by the screening you have proposed.
We wanted to leave it open. That way, if she wanted to store RVs at some point, she could. It's a condition that we can also, add. If you are going to store RVs, then you will have to have additional screening that will, keep it out of sight.
Yeah. Looking very good. But I'm trying to say, if there's anyone here that would like to address this, just come forward and state your name and let us know you're a neighbor or what.
My name is James Hilton. I live beside this piece of property. My concern is, like she said, my address is 22541 East Monitor Road.
Okay, so you're to the northwest or west? Yeah, okay.
As she brought up in saying that, I am concerned about my kids. What they have not brought up is there is a school less than a mile from there. I'm more concerned about what kind of people's coming in here. You can do checks on people all you want. There's always a crazy person out there. I don't want them really beside me like that. The lights will shine in me, keep me up at night because I cannot sleep hardly with the lights on. There's different things that's going on with the dump trucks. It's just not, even this past week. My son-in-law got ran off the road. We've had a lady that come to our house, had her tire blowed out by the potholes that the dump trucks said they would be taking care of the road. I can imagine seeing a 40-foot RV trying to turn in when one of them dump trucks come by there, and they don't come by slow. Dump trucks has already ran over 3 of my animals. What's going to happen if a kid's running out in front of one of these dump trucks and they can't stop? If they can't stop for an animal, they ain't going to be able to stop for a kid. That's going to also change the zoning of the agriculture, which is single-family residential per maximum density of 1 acre. And I just feel like there's going to be too much chaos out there. If this goes through, I'm not going to be able to trust my kids being in the backyard, because you don't know what kind of people's coming in there. I mean, yeah, they can check them all they want, but nobody's 100% perfect on that. I wish this would go away. I'm good. I think Pete's been a good neighbor, but I'm against the RV park.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wanted to speak?
Speak for it.
Somebody's behind you, didn't see him. Here, let me finish that one.
Hi, my name is Christine Gordon. I live directly across the street from Pete. So the big fence that you see, that's my husband's and my property. I apologize, I'm not really good at public speaking, but I felt this was very important to be at. My husband and I looked for about 2 years before we bought our property. We looked for a place that was very rural, agricultural, that we could have cows, but also very safe. And we moved from Rogers, came here, found our property, have spent a lot of money on our property to pave the road, put the fence, buy cattle. Love our neighbors, love Pete, thinks he's a great person, but I worry about the safety. I have children, I have family that come in. I've had people come down my road already, knock on my door that don't belong there, and then you put an RV park where, granted, you said that they're going to be, up to $100,000 RVs in this property. There's 2 RV parks down by the lake. Neither one of them are at full capacity, so you can't tell me that this RV park is going to be at full capacity and have $100,000 motorhomes in it and trailers that are going to be 10,000, 50,000, whatever they are. I worry about the safety of my family. I did not buy land out on Monitor Road to have an RV park directly across the street. I mean, I look at it this way. If this was put up to you and you had to have an RV park right across your street or your driveway or your neighbor, would you vote for this? I don't understand. I mean, I feel so sorry for Pete, and I think that he's trying to do the right thing for himself, but this affects all of us as neighbors. We have a very safe community. We try to, other than the trucks, we try to look out for each other. If you have people that come in that are there temporarily, they have no qualms about doing whatever they want. Pete actually told my husband a couple weeks ago that if they get too loud, he'll call the cops. So you have to tell me he's not worried about people coming in and making noise and bright lights. I mean, I just am very against it. My husband's very against it. He wanted to be here, but he's traveling. So I guess I thank you for listening to me kind of going on. Again, I'm not good at public speaking, but this is very important to us as a family. And again, we did contact a realtor, and our property values would go down 5 to 7%. And if you look at the value of our properties that we have, as well as Jennifer, that's a big chunk of money.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Pete Brandenburg. I own the property which is in question. I've been there 37 years. Most of these neighbors that are complaining hadn't been there very long at all. There's several commercial sites real close to me. There's, the rock quarry there, the saddle shop, right down where the Hintons live now. Used to be a small engine repair shop and Phillips trash service. So there's been commercial stuff all over. So I don't know why they're complaining about that running down their property values. If you look on the internet, the elderly, instead of going to a retirement home, are now buying RVs, traveling across the United States. It's a growing impact. We need more of these RV parks for these elderly or whatever to come up, see their grandkids graduate school, go to a ball game, go to the lake. It's not a problem with that. As far as dangers to the kids, I don't believe that's a problem. Not as much as shooting out in the backyard 3 days a week, but you know, I just don't think that's a problem. I think that the law, you know, if there is an issue, the law can be, informed about it. I'll personally run them off. They come down around me and start having problems. But I've been a bail bondsman for 27 years. You know, I've had death threats and everything else. I just don't see that there's a problem with an RV park where somebody wants to come and put up an RV and stay for a month while they're doing construction work, or stay for 3 months while they're taking a little vacation. I mean, Northwest Arkansas is supposed to be a growing area as far as vacation people. What about the new people that coming in here building a home? They could stay there 3 months while their home is getting worked on. I just think, that if a person owns a piece of property, they should be allowed to do what they want. I don't tell none of my neighbors what they need to do with their property. Not at all. Like I said, I've been there 37 years, and I just, until they can show me their psychic license that says they can guarantee the property value is going to go down or something, they don't know. It's speculation. So I'm just saying, as far as my behalf goes, I don't have a problem with it, and I'm the closest neighbor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brandenburg. Anyone else who wanted to speak?
Hi, my name is Jennifer Smith, and I live directly across the street from Pete at 22382 East Monitor Road. I have lived out there for approximately 47 years, as that's where I was brought home from the hospital. My grandfather moved out there when he was 2, so we have owned around 300 acres out there for quite a while. I too have asked around with a couple of realtors, and they have also confirmed that our property value would go down. So, and then I also do have concerns of the traffic and the lights, the noise, because I am directly, you can see my house on one of the slides. So I'm not a public speaker, but I do hope that this gets turned down. My family and I'm just here to represent them, and there's 4 of us that live out there that each have houses. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I am Danielle Hilton, and I also live right next door to where this is going to be put in. I have lived in this community since I was 13 years old. Not that exact home, but about 1.5 miles from my home now. So I have been in this community for quite a while, just not specifically in the house that I am in now. We have gone around and we have gotten, including my family, myself and I, or my husband, we have gotten 69 signatures of people in our community within like a 3-mile radius of people who don't want this because of different traffic, road conditions, and they all, they moved out here in the country to be in the country, not to have neighbors stacked on top of each other. And so my concerns are my children. They are my first concern. But I have lived in this community since I was 13. So I have been out there for a very long time. My parents, my mother, my father has passed away, but my mother still lives in the same home where I grew up. And so these concerns are very concerning to me with my children, my pets, everything, the road conditions, the value of my home, everything. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Joan Schaefer. I live at 22275 East Monitor Road. And I didn't know we were speaking tonight, but I would hope that you guys are listening to what people are saying that live there and not just already have your minds made up that you're going to pass this. This is, as they stated before, put yourself in our position. These are the homes we built to reach higher in. They're our dream homes. We've all invested a lot of money in these homes. And to drive up and see these big RVs coming and going, it is just a detriment to the area. And Hickory Creek's 2 to 3 miles away. They have the RV park there. And if I'm not mistaken, at the last meeting, you approved an RV park right there at Sonora. So there's another one. So why they need to be right in the middle of homes, I don't understand. It's a beautiful place. We love it out there. It's quiet other than the trucks, but we love the country, the trees, and everything that goes with it. And just the riffraff, I'm sorry, there's no way you can prevent it. You can't say who's going to rent there. They'll rent to whoever they can get the money from. They don't live there, so why do they care? And you can't stop it if homeless comes in. We've heard there's problems down at Hickory Creek because of that. You look at any RV park, there's problems there with other people coming in, and you can't control everything. You can't be on the phone constantly calling the police. They're not going to come. And I just ask that you please take it into consideration. We have 5 grandkids. It is something that we think about, who's just down the street from us, what's going on. We don't want the property values to go on, and we don't plan on moving again. And I would hope that you would put yourself in our position and please consider it. Think about it just before you say, I pass it, I pass it. Just really put yourself there and think, would I want this next to me? No, you wouldn't. No one would. There's too many other places around that it could be, and it doesn't need to be right between the homes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Amanda Vickers. I live at 3341 Looper Road. We own a parcel of land, and I actually can see the parcel of land from my house on Looper Road. And we don't want that out there. We bought the piece of property as an investment, a nest egg. My daughter's getting married next year. It looks like they're probably going to need the property to build a house on, and it will plummet. And anybody who's in real estate up there knows it will plummet the property values out there. It will plummet the Washington, Benton County side, all of it out there. It will plummet the value of the home that I live in now, not just my piece of property. And we really do not want this to go through. And please consider this carefully before you do that. Thank you. My name's Anna Nelson. I came to be a fly on the wall tonight and not say anything at all. I'm Pete's realtor, so I can feel the darts in my back right now. You know, when I've gone out to visit with Pete, I see a lot of bikes. People ride their bikes out there, groups of them by the dozens. So I can't imagine if those people are putting their lives in danger driving with these dump trucks that it's going to be that big of a deal. I just don't think that they would be doing that. I don't think they'd be riding their bikes on a dangerous road. So the fact that people are concerned about their children, I'm a mother of 3 as well, so I'm always concerned about my kids too. But I get that and understand it, but I don't think people's kids are playing in the road. I don't think that's a thing anymore. But also, has anybody considered the 412 bypass that's going to be going in right at the back end of that lot? You can go to AR Department of Transportation and find it. You know, if you're concerned about an RV park diminishing your property value, just wait until that road goes in, and there's going to be a lot more businesses out there. I believe that it's going to eventually increase property values. I'm sorry, I did not do my homework. Like I said, I wasn't prepared to speak tonight. I don't know that it's going to deplete anybody's home values, but it does seem like Ms. Chefke is going to be beautifying the land with all the trees and the shrubbery, the landscaping she's putting in there. It looks to me like it's going to be improvement to the property rather than diminishing anybody's property values. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, don't see any other hands, so one last chance.
Can I say one more thing? We all understand that the bypass will go in, but that's what, 10 years from now? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about at this individual moment. And I realize that you're his realtor, and don't get me wrong, but we have contacted a realtor. It will drop our property values down. And yeah, she wants to put plants and beautify it, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you're going to have people there temporarily. You're going to have RVs. That's putting in bushes and shrubs. That doesn't take care of the situation. The big situation that we're talking about is having an RV park in our neighborhood.
All right. With that, we will conclude. Looks like public comment, and we'll see what further questions you all have or what you're thinking.
Nathan, I don't know how specific I need to be. I know with the new thing of explaining if you decide to vote no or recuse, I don't know how specific I need to be in explaining my recusal on this particular project again.
I don't think you have to be too very specific on a recusal. I mean, if you could recuse, you recuse, that's fine.
Okay.
I think if you're voting against, I would ask that you explain, kind of those conditions, kind of what it is that gives you the most concern and your thoughts on it.
Okay, but if I'm recusing, I don't have to be real specific other than I'm recusing. Okay, I will be recusing on this particular project.
Well, then, Philip, did you
I voted against it.
voted against it last time?
And my main concern is the compatibility issue of these, so many units being so close to adjacent property owners. We're talking 6 units per acre, basically an 85 by 85 lots, maybe probably less than that. Stacked up, the noise factors, this doesn't seem like a really good.
Do you think any of that could be mitigated if we added more screening on the roadside or on any other sides?
I don't think you can contain the noise.
Okay.
So parliamentary-wise, I'm taking from that you intend to vote no, so we'd be in the same problem we had last time. It would be,
Do they want to table?
you have
it
to have
and
4
wait for it to come
votes. Yeah. Is that what the rule was? Yeah, so at best you'd have 3. So we could table it. Sorry for the proponent, but
And wait till we have a full board?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I would rather make a decision, but we don't have the support for that. So in lieu of a decision, I say we table it until there's a full board.
there be a second to table it?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion second to table it. Do we have enough members with the recusal puts us in a one down situation? No problem, Joel, I totally understand recusal, it's no big deal. Sorry?
Your mic's off.
Oh. Yes, I'm just saying, I understand the recusal, and that's okay, you need to,
Well,
you
we're
need to.
missing two
Right,
board members.
so we should be able to have enough to have a decisive vote, I would hope. All right, so all those in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it's tabled, and we will take it up at next meeting. All right, unless I'm missing something, that takes us to other business.
Sir, thank you. I just wanted to update the board that representatives from regional planning, as well as a couple of members of the planning board, met with the judge and staff earlier this week just to go over CUP recommendations, changes, and have good discussion. Just wanted to let you know the ball is still rolling and we're still working on it. And as new information comes to us, then it'll come to you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I might suggest, you do a great job of polling us anyway, but maybe move that up a couple of weeks so we can see if we can stir enough people to have these people not come back again. I feel sorry that they've had to come back. But, so maybe we'll move our polling up a week and then put notice out that we can really address it or not
Polling
address it.
as far as,
Board attendees.
gotcha. Yes, sir.
We do that already, but if we could do it far enough in advance to assure these people that we'd have a vote that counts, so to speak, that'd be great.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn? Motion. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Hey, Randy, so are you tabling it to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Tabling it to
Yeah.
a certain number, so it will be on next.
Yes, I'm assuming we round up might have been better till we had a certain number, but I didn't do it that way.
Moving to postpone it to a specific time, or you move to postpone indefinitely, which ultimately kills it. So you said at the end that you're postponing it until the next meeting. So just to clarify, it will be on next month's. Okay, thank you.